Well, good morning on this final morning in London, and we have one agency, one quite big, very important independent agency to see today, which is VCCP. It's an agency we've seen quite often over the years, so successful and a real leader in terms of independent agencies. So we're seeing them today, but yesterday we saw, well, in my notebook, we had 9 different meetings, so it was quite a day. In the morning, we spent the first sessions were at the IPA, so the Institute of Professional Advertising, and learned a bit about them as well, which was interesting. Plus, we saw 2 very nice independent agencies who have quite clear positioning. So there's a lot going on in the UK advertising scene. A lot of independents either starting up or have started up and been going for a number of years, and they have a very strong point of view. They are determined to do things differently, make a difference, and they're very clear on how they want to be business partners with their clients without just talking about it. These are not big agencies; they are mid-size agencies, but well structured, well thought through. Etc. So very engaging. Then from there we went to had lunch with PMG, which is the agency we also met in New York. Was it earlier this year? Or was it the year before? I can't even remember now. I think it might have been earlier this year. And they are, of course, a very tech agency, digital. From a technology, media, data, and creative. And thank goodness their demonstration worked because before, when they tried to do a live demo, the restaurant's Wi-Fi let them down, but this time it didn't happen. And so that was a good session. Plus, they've just hired the former CEO of Mediacom in the UK, and that was very interesting because it just again tells us where the strong points need to be within firms like this. Anyway, successful agency, very, very good session, wonderful lunch. We then went to an agency called Cooler, which is a social agency. And the biggest, I think, thing that I've learned this week is just how big social is and how it's just part of the mix. So you have to have creative, media, and social. And social is often at the heart of all campaigns. But in this case, this was an agency that wasn't trying to do all 3. They are completely focused on social content, social media, and social activations. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating, and a sign of things to come. In fact, it reminded me very much of how PR works, where you look for opportunities, what's going on in the culture, and then you seed something in. That's how the new social climate works. Fascinating. Then we went on from there to OAG, so Omnicom Group. Not much of an update because they're now in the final weeks of the merger, and they're targeting end of November for everything to be announced. So we have to wait. We thought it might be now, but it sounds like they're all organized. Everybody's jobs in place. They've got everybody's titles in place, etc., but they couldn't tell us more than that. And then we had 3 nice sessions with OAG agencies, Adam and Eve, Lucky Generals, and BBDO, AMB BBDO. So 3 good sessions. Quite good to have an overview like this of the 3 different agencies. One of the consultants commented, I'm not sure which one I would choose for, which particular pitch. So those distinctions weren't that clear. But I've no doubt with a little bit of in-depth talking, you'd probably get more into it. And then we all went for an early dinner around the corner from the agency, which also happens to be pretty close to the hotel. So yeah, it was a big day and very interesting and informative. And looking forward to the final session this morning, and then also to the wrap-up. We always have a wrap-up session of all the consultants where we talk about what we think the highlights were and how we think things are going to look in the future. And then we start planning for the next session, which will be in New York next year, I think. But I'll have more news on that when I'm back in South Africa. And so look out for a broadcast on Monday morning. I'll be doing a wrap-up the whole week just to really highlight anything in particular that came out and anything in particular that comes out this morning when we're at VCCP. So thanks for listening all week. I hope you've enjoyed these moments. I've enjoyed doing them. So goodbye and see you in South Africa. Bye for now.